There's a lot of carp in here, and if it isn't happening, sometimes you've got to make it happen. I mean, now, this one's really going for it. You don't mind wading through a few small ones when you know it could go off and it could be that big common. Matey to the right's had a bite. I just found out matey to the left's had a bite, and believe it or not, I've had a double take. Now we're in a bit of trouble. I've already had a triple take, as you've seen, literally just had a double take then, and lo and behold, I've got another two just proper kicking off. It's one of the old ones, that is. Oh my God, that is one of the original fish. Absolute piece of carp fishing history. That ain't no f***ing 18 pounder, is it? It's a 40, isn't it?
Is it?
It is. Just over 40. Okay, so last time around you joined me in session at Hardwick on the linear complex in the depths of winter. This time around, sticking with the theme of linear, I'm on Oxley's Lake. Believe it or not, with the weather that we've actually got, it is the height of summer, but this weather is absolutely brilliant. Although I fished the complex for a number of years, Oxley's is probably the lake that I fished the least. Why? I don't really know, because there is a lot of big carp in here, but for one reason or another, I just haven't. But over the last few weeks, I've had a couple of really good sessions on here. And yeah, the first session back a few weeks ago, I got extremely lucky and I caught the biggest mirror in the lake. But there is still a massive common in here, along with a load of other backup fish as well. I'm mid-session now, I've already had a few fish, and I've literally just had another one, which is waiting down there in the net now. So without further ado, we'll get that one out onto the mat and we'll have a little look. Well, a bit of a change of plan. That fish is still soaking in the net. And yeah, 3 rods back out on the spot, a little bit of bait over the top, and it's ripped off again. And this one is proper motoring up the lake, this one is. That is the only problem with this lake, is there's a lot of pegs on here, and when the fish decide to take off, there is nothing you can do to stop them. So hopefully keep the rod low, the fish stays up in the water, and we avoid any disaster. Fishing 80 yards out anyway, I've hardly got any line back on it yet. There he is now, just out here. Well, it looks like a common. Predominantly mirrors in this lake, but it's definitely a common, this one. And I think in terms of the stock of commons, you've got one that's 45 pound after it's spawned and 50 pound sort of back end of the year, and then the rest of them are sort of between 15 and sort of 26, 28 pounds. There's a massive gap in the middle, but you don't mind wading through a few small ones when you know it could go off and it could be that big common. What a proper scrap. Yes! That is a right result, but as nice as it is to catch one, there's plenty more out there. So I'm going to get this one unhooked, rod rebaited, back out there, a couple more spods, and yeah, let's hope his big brother's out there. Nailed it. Could not have hand placed that one any better. Look at that, for an absolutely stunning Oxley's carp. Typical of the stamp that you'd expect to catch out of Oxley's. This was the first bite. Not long after I had this, rod back out, it rips off again, and there's a common in the net. It's a little bit bigger than this one, so we'll slip this one back and we'll have a look at the common. There we go, number 2 of the morning, the common, 24 to 26 pound I should say. Like I say, there's only one real massive common in here, and there's a lot of commons this sort of size. The weather is looking absolutely bang on, and considering the time of year, right in the height of summer, low pressure, big winds and rain, the rods are back out there. I'm going to slip this one back because it is looking bang on for a few more bites. As with all these lakes on the linear complex, there's a lot of carp in here, and if it isn't happening, sometimes you've got to make it happen. Matey next door, he's just had a bite, and I noticed that he'd spotted probably an hour prior to that, and I haven't had a bite now for say 2.5 hours. I'm literally going to put 3 bang on the money. Hopefully I can get them as tight as possible. There is a bit of a crosswind, but if they look like they're going to go off the spot or short of the spot, I always stop them really short. I don't want to be spreading bait left and right, or in front of the spot. I'd rather it stop really short where it's not really going to sort of interfere with my spot too much. So loaded this one up. There's a strong right to left crosswind, so I'm going to have to punch it up the lake a little bit.